Welcome back to another episode of FTBL Final Whistle. If you guys are wondering where Cam is today, that's a mare. If you guys are wondering where Cam is today, Cam, unfortunately, is having some health issues. That's the reason why we kind of had to cancel last minute, and I wish I could have given you guys a better explanation yesterday, but we couldn't. I can't believe that just happened. But anyways, guys, football, man. Today is arguably the craziest day of World Cup action you will probably ever see. At least for me, that's probably the craziest day of World Cup football I have ever seen. Look, let's talk about it. Germany eliminated. People had these guys. I know Stars on SDS was telling me they were a dark horse. They were his dark horse to go the furthest in this tournament. Eliminated at the group stage. Before last World Cup, I don't think Germany had ever been eliminated at the group stage. And now, 2 tournaments in a row. Spain, after match day 1, demolishing Costa Rica. People were proclaiming them potential champions, to be on the verge of a Costa Rica winner against Germany, of eliminating themselves just like that, and they finished second in this group. Crazy. Japan, who everyone had kind of just thought to themselves, after losing to Costa Rica, they blew it. They blew their big chance. They beat Germany, which is the hard part, lost to Costa Rica, they're done. In Group E now, Belgium's golden generation bursts into flames. I told KDB to rise. He kind of did, but you got Lukaku, that's arguably the worst striker performance from a so-called elite level striker that you may ever see. Morocco beating Canada, the first team since I don't even know when that an African team tops their group. So guys, we got a lot to talk about. I'm not going to take too much of your time today because I know this show ain't the same without 2 of us, but I'll try and be as entertaining as I can. I'll try and answer as many of your questions as I can. Boy, where do we even want to start, man? Where do we even want to start? Every person and their predictions have been wrong, bro. I felt to myself that I was doing okay this World Cup. In fact, I had Spain coming second from this group. I actually had Germany winning this group. But, bro, every single group, there's a massive shock. I think the first place we have to start is Japan versus Spain. And this is really the difficulty with these last day of the group stage games, guys. You're only really paying attention to one game unless madness happens in both of them like it did in the second half. But in the first half, I was mostly watching the Germany game. And Germany, within 10 minutes, honestly could have been 3-4-0 up against Costa Rica today. It was that dominant. And yet, kind of similar to the Japan game, they only find themselves 1-0 up. And Spain, of course, they get their early lead as well. It just kind of seems scripted that Germany and Spain, after all the drama of the first 2 games, they're going to end up in the next round, just like everyone predicted. And yet in the second half, Japan, bro, out of nowhere, the way they came out, I criticized Japan's coach a lot after match day 2, because I saw the names that he dropped for that game against Costa Rica. I almost had the impression that this guy just kind of took them for granted and just kind of went into that game expecting to win. But I'll give him credit this game. The way Japan came out that second half, you have to give massive credit to them, because, bro, they beat the rails off Spain, bro. If this is a team, Spain, that's expected to go on and do big things in this tournament, you won't get that impression coming off this game, because Japan absolutely battered them. And then in the other game, Costa Rica out of nowhere, go ahead and take, what is it, 2-2 or 2-1 against Germany. And just like that, the group, the infamous screen had Japan, Costa Rica, Spain, and Germany. Basically, what I had as the group flipped over. Obviously, we know how that ended up. Kai Havertz gets a few. That Fulkrug guy from Werder Bremen, who, me personally, I didn't think existed a week ago, goes and scores again. Germany win. But in the other game, Spain, bro, and this is where I always had my question marks with Spain. Everyone for me was criticizing Brazil's fullbacks. If you guys know me, you know that I predicted Brazil would win this World Cup. And everyone was saying, nah, they can't with those fullbacks. But my argument was, guys, you look at every single team in this tournament, every one of them has a flaw. And I looked at Spain as the primary example. Spain, for me, are exceptionally coached. I told Cam, right? They remind me of a club side. They play club-level football at international-level football. But you look at their team, guys, their forward line is filled with players that don't start at their respective clubs. Asensio, leading the line for them, can't buy a minute of starting action for Real Madrid. Ferran Torres at Barcelona is the laughing stock for them. Dani Olmo, I don't watch too much Leipzig, but he's not some world superstar. Is this the forward line that's going to win you a World Cup? You look in defense. Rodri, as brilliant as I think he is, can you win a World Cup with Rodri starting at center back next to either Laporte or Pau Torres? You look at the fullbacks in Alba and Azpilicueta. My main point from all of this, right, and that's not to just say Spain are done at this tournament, but every single team at this tournament has a flaw. There is no perfect team at a World Cup. No international team is perfect, because you can't You can't buy players to perfect your team. Even Spain 2010, you look at Capdevila. He's not some world superstar. So I say that to say that, look, bro, Spain will be in that other side of the bracket now, and I think some people might even argue that they'd be happier now because if all goes to plan, which let's face it, at this World Cup, nothing goes to plan. Spain should play Portugal in the next round instead of playing Brazil in the quarterfinals. Excuse me. Spain should be playing Portugal in the quarterfinals instead of Brazil, who they were expected to. If you ask me, I think Portugal is probably the easier game out of those two. But I think this is a massive, massive, massive wake-up call for them because after that 7-0, I think they started believing in the hype a little too much too. The last two games have been a lot more complacent. The passing has lost a bit of zip to it, a bit of burst to it. And these last two games, they haven't been as commanding. Obviously, they're not playing Costa Rica, but it's major question marks. Let me go through some of the super chats. Yo, let me tell you guys this too, right? It's hard work holding this down by yourself. Already the first minute and a half, I probably did without any of you guys hearing me. And now to basically talk by yourself for all of this, I'm trying, but it's for you guys. So let's go through some of these super chats here. Natty Boy 100. De Gea smiling somewhere after Simone went to bed. Look, anyone who knows me knows I'm not a huge De Gea fan. So I've kind of been justifying this Unai Simone inclusion the whole tournament, saying like this is why Enrique wants to play him. Look at the way he plays the ball at the back. Look at that Sane chance in the last game where Simone kind of closes down the angle after coming off his line. I was saying to myself, De Gea would never do that. But Unai Simone is a very average keeper. Let's keep it a buck, right? Whether you like De Gea or not, Unai Simone is not the answer going forward. Spain need to go find some top goalkeeper from La Masia or something like that because this guy, again, that's another one, right? Can you win a World Cup with Unai Simone in goal? I have major question marks, man. Ash, regular in here. Rudiger and Neuer howlers. Simone stinks. Mitoma. Hey, Brighton in general, right? They're having themselves a tournament. Caicedo, despite going out in the group stage, has been exceptional. And I think if he already wasn't on every single wish list of a European elite club in the world at this point, after this tournament, he definitely is. He's been exceptional. McAllister has kind of taken that Lo Celso role that he left after he got injured. And honestly, probably been better than Lo Celso was. I watch a lot of Argentina. I think McAllister is executing this role better than Lo Celso was. And Lo Celso was excellent for them. And now Mitoma, bro, Brighton are having themselves a tournament. Gavi Ghost Sesh 2 games in a row. He's not Pedri. Hey, if I speak too much on that, they'll say I'm hating on kids. But look, man, what do you guys want to talk? Hansi, culture camps, Hansi. Hansi Flick and Luis Enrique, right? These were the two managers that came into this tournament. And everyone was talking about, including myself. Let me say not everyone. I'll take some responsibility here. I came into this tournament looking at those two managers and said, because the level of management at international level is so poor in terms of like, you don't really see top class international managers, these two should stand out. Meaning that whether they play against other teams, no matter what the talent deficit is, they should be able to kind of bridge the gap, excuse me. Because just how much better is Hansi Flick than a Southgate or a Deschamps or a Fernando Santos? It should be a lot based on their reputation, their experience. It should be a lot. But bro, I think Cam was the one basically saying that it doesn't matter as much as I think. And I think this tournament has really proved it right. Enrique, we're still yet to see. Like I said, I'm not writing off Spain. I had them finishing second in their group to begin with. And I had them going far regardless. But bro, this is a wake-up call. And Hansi Flick, we'll see what Germany expects to do going forward with him. Right? Nations League wasn't great. Qualifying, I think they got through relatively easily. But to go out of a group stage at a World Cup for Germany, bro, is unthinkable. It was unthinkable 4 years ago. And Joachim Löw probably kept his job solely based on the fact that he'd won the tournament before. He had a lot of credit stored in the bank. Hansi Flick has been around the German system for a while. He was Joachim Löw's assistant for a while. But can he keep his job after this? I think they should keep him just because I still think he's a top-class manager. And I think you look at the Germany team, right? And there's still a lot of weak positions. Neuer, this tournament, for me, has not put himself in glory whatsoever. I think he's had a very poor individual tournament. You look at the forward line. Gnabry, I didn't think was great this tournament. Sane was injured at times. Muller is finished. You got to find a replacement in there. Hope that Moukoko next time around is ready. I think he probably moved Kimmich to right back and gave Gundogan a bigger role in midfield way too late. And their back line, too, isn't great. So I would stick with Hansi Flick. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, bro, because Germany have expectations. And going out in the group stage back-to-back tournaments is not one of their expectations. We got another super chat here from Rebecca. Shout out, Rebecca. Do the big teams getting knocked out so early make the knockout stages a bit underwhelming if the underdogs just get slapped up by another big team? I hear you, Rebecca, because like yesterday, for example, I was looking at the way the tournament could kind of shape up, and everything was kind of screaming that we would have an Argentina Netherlands quarterfinal based on the draw how it's made, an England France quarterfinal, a Spain Brazil quarterfinal, a Germany Portugal semifinal. So you were looking at a quarterfinal of 8 of the biggest teams at the tournament, and I can't remember the last time that's ever happened. 2006, maybe. I don't even think so. I think Ukraine might have slipped through. I can't remember for sure. It doesn't often happen. That's the whole point. And we were kind of looking at this tournament like, wow, all the big teams could be going as far as they possibly could before, of course, they meet another big team. But look, the part of international football for me, Rebecca, is that I really like watching these smaller teams that I would never watch outside of the World Cup. Like for me, no disrespect, but I'm never turning on a Japan versus Oman game in the Asian qualifying grounds. It's just not going to happen. So when I do get the chance to see them perform the way they have this tournament, to get points off Germany and Spain, not just points, but maximum points, kind of makes the wait for a 4-year World Cup that much better. This is what we kind of wait for at an international tournament. If not, look, we're just kind of the Super League of World Cups. And if you want entertainment, if you want top-class football, like let's face it, that Spain-Germany, the game that we watched on match day 2, is potentially the highest quality game we've seen at this World Cup. But I like these underdog stories, man. Like today is arguably the craziest World Cup day we'll ever see, just because every single game just kept you on the edge of your seat. Would Costa Rica do it? Would Japan do it? Could Germany come back? Could Spain come back? So I hear your point, but I'm a fan of these comebacks, man. I'm a fan. The adrenaline is high. Neuer, both fullbacks, Muller, Gundo 6, all around howler. I didn't mind the Gundogan switch. The thing, though, that you wouldn't have noticed is that Kimmich kind of went back into the midfield the second half. The first half, Gundogan, I think the stat was he had 75 touches in 45 minutes. He was running the show. Musiala, another one, right? I kind of said on Twitter, this is going to be Musiala's Messi 2010 campaign. In that, if you don't remember that campaign too well, Messi hit the post, hit the crossbar so many times that tournament, but overall played a really good World Cup individually. Obviously, his team didn't go as far as they could, and obviously from Messi you expect more, but he had a good tournament despite not scoring a goal. Musiala, I look at it the same way. If you watch Germany all 3 games this tournament, Musiala has emerged. He has emerged. He has shown the world that he is ready to be put in these conversations with the Bellinghams, the Pedris, the Tchouaménis, the Camavingas, and the Gavis. Personally, I think Musiala is right, if not first, second in that list. He is that good, and I wouldn't let a scoreless tournament define him, because I think if people didn't know Musiala's name before this, they definitely do now. Kamzovic. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow about Kamzovic. See if Serbia got something for him, because that's another one, right? This World Cup has kind of been... Look, we saw Denmark. That's a team that a lot of people expected to go far based off Euro 2020. Completely flopped. Uruguay. They must rise tomorrow against Ghana. If not, that's another team that Faisal, for example, had them going to the semifinals. And Serbia, both me and Cam had them going far. I had them going to the quarterfinals. So it's not been a good tournament for the traditional dark horses. But look, for the likes of Japan, for the likes of Ghana, even for the likes of the US, who I think have played a really, really good tournament, they've kind of taken that mantelpiece, taken the initiative and said, okay, if you guys aren't going to take the storm and be the underdogs of this tournament, we will. Just going through another, Pedri and Musiala are so clear. Gavi and Jude can't chat to them. Personally, I wouldn't say can't chat in terms of Jude. I think he's in that category, probably towards the bottom though. But I would agree. Those two are the top player. Talk about Lukaku's stinker today. Let's talk about Belgium. Like I said, I'm not going to take too much of your time today, just because I know the show ain't the same about both of us. But Belgium, I put out a tweet today saying, KDB, you must rise. You must rise, because the first 2 games that you played in this tournament were shambolic. And to be fair to KDB, and I'm a fair guy, I thought KDB played solid today. I thought he created chances. He put his teammates through on goal. There were some balls that, he put them on a silver platter. So KDB, you rose. When I said that KDB, I didn't like what he said about Belgium have no chance of winning the World Cup. I didn't mean that I expect Belgium to win the World Cup. I didn't mean that Belgium must win the World Cup, that KDB is a failure if he doesn't win the World Cup. I was not offended, but I was upset that a player of that caliber, who I've said potentially could be the best midfielder the Premier League has ever seen, was playing to that level. Rise. I've seen players on really bad teams at international levels still rise to levels that I knew what they could do. And today, he did it. But Lukaku, bro, the downfall of Romelu Lukaku since leaving Inter Milan, actually, for me, is heartbreaking. I actually think it's very, very sad. I know people were clowning on him today, But bro, I thought Lukaku was bro. KDB rose hype. You're not feeling it, Kim. You don't think he rose today? Look, it's not vintage KDB today, but I thought at least he did his part. I couldn't say that after the first 2 games. Today, carried the game by the scruff of the neck. Hey man, look, it wasn't vintage KDB, but I still thought he did his part. He didn't shrink. He rose a bit. He didn't shrink. He stayed the same height. But Lukaku, bro, since leaving Inter Milan, bro, it's been a demise that I haven't seen before in a striker. Like, I get the injuries, but since leaving for Chelsea, the injuries, the complete lack of form in front of goal, and today just kind of summarized how far he's fell off since that Scudetto win a few seasons ago. 4, bro, not just chances, not just clear-cut chances. 4 open goals for Romelu Lukaku that it's like he was trying to find a new way to mess it up. Like, okay, this time it just bounced off my shin and went out. This time I'm just going to let it hit my head and go over the bar. Let me find a new way to screw up every single time. That game is going to give him sleepless nights, for a long, long time. Lukaku will not get a wink of sleep for the next 3 weeks. I can guarantee it. Because Belgium aren't going out 100% because of him, but it's like 95%, bro. I can't even lie. They didn't play bad today. Like, they really did not play the worst game that they played all group. They were better today than they were against Canada. But Lukaku has basically eliminated Belgium today. That's how poor he was. And you could see at the end of the game, bro, the guy's in tears. Henry trying to console him. Henry's probably thinking, bro, I've been coaching you for 6 years and this is the end result. I've been coaching you 1v1, striking coach for 6 years. And this is what you give me, Lukaku? This is what you give me? Bro, to be honest, Henry and Martinez, right? Martinez, you guys know my thoughts on this guy. I don't understand how a coach whose highest point in his resume is winning an FA Cup with Wigan was given the reins to a golden generation of the likes of Prime Hazard, Prime Lukaku, Prime Company, Prime Kevin De Bruyne, Prime Alderweireld and Courtois. How was a manager of that little pedigree, who, by the way, still after 4 years now, doesn't speak a lick of French, Spanish and English, that's it, given the jobs for Belgium? I almost feel like it's a sabotage job. And then Henry, right? Great player, obviously, elite level player, all-time level player, has a terrible coaching history, no disrespect, actually full disrespect, and again, isn't Belgian. Why were these two given the reins to Belgium? Can someone answer me that, if we have any Belgians in here? I have no idea. For me, it blows my mind because they haven't done anything since they've got here. People will talk about the semifinals of the World Cup. That's what? So we give credit to him for that, but we don't give credit to Southgate for England. I think it's the same thing. He hasn't done anything for Belgium, bro. And Cam will tell me as well that the Belgium golden generation was a farce, but bro, to go through 4 to 6 to 8 years actually since 2014 and not make the final of any one of those tournaments and go out to the likes of Wales in Euro 2016, Italy in 2022, but Italy in 2020, but Italy for me didn't have a better team than Belgium. And then now to go out to the group stage against Morocco and Croatia, that's failure, bro. That's failure that even England's golden generation didn't taste. Will they get the same scrutiny that they did? Maybe in Belgium they will, but outside of the world, I feel like people are really ignoring this. Martinez is done at Belgium. Thierry Henry is done at Belgium. We'll see where they go from here because now, look, Kevin De Bruyne is going to be the leader of that team. Hazard is done. The fact that he came on with 4 minutes left of the game today shows that he's done. Lukaku, he's done. He's not going to be a major presence at the next World Cup. So this is De Bruyne's team with a backup squad of what? Leandro Trossard, Yuri Tielemans, Wout Weghorst in the back or whatever his name is, Doku. This is the next golden generation of Belgium. This is what they got now. Look, bro, I think that's a major, major missed opportunity. You look at a team like Croatia in 1998. They went to the semifinals of the World Cup, and that was a team, Hakan Şükür, and then those guys. You didn't get another great, great Croatia team for another 20 years until 2018, where they finally went to a World Cup final. So Belgium, I feel like our generation of football fans, or maybe the one just younger than me, are kind of getting used to Belgium as a major, major team. They're not a major player in this, bro. They won't be a major team for another 10, 15, 20 years because generations like that don't come very often. But let's give a quick shout out to Croatia, what they did today. After the first game, I was not impressed whatsoever. Me personally, guys, I predicted Belgium to top the group and Morocco to come second. And I got one of the two right. Well, I guess half of the two right in Morocco advancing. And Morocco have been excellent. I want to give a special shout out to Hakim Ziyech because I've been highly critical of him since he came to Chelsea. And I'm not sold on him yet. I understand that international play is very different to league football, but he turned up this tournament. And this is a guy as well, guys, if you didn't know that, was exiled from the Morocco team from Vahid Halihodzic, excuse me. Vahid Halihodzic. He used to be the Algeria manager, but he was the coach for Morocco for a while. And due to disagreements between the two of them, Ziyech wasn't called up for 3-4 years, bro. 2-3-4 years. But they fired him. They chose Ziyech over him. And since then, bro, this game was the first time that they've conceded a goal in general in like 450 minutes of play. Ziyech has taken this tournament over, finally showing the player that Chelsea bought from Ajax. Give credit to the likes of Hakimi. Give credit to the likes of El Nassiri, Boufal, Mazraoui, Amrabat from Fiorentina, Nordin Amrabat's brother, not him, Sofiane Amrabat, exceptional player. And now they find themselves against Spain, who we just got finished talking about them. You don't think Morocco looks at Spain and says, we could get something out of this game? We could go to the quarterfinals. Definitely, bro. Definitely. Anyone is there to be had this tournament, and Morocco have just shown that. And then shout out to Croatia as well, because again, Croatia were a team that I thought were completely over the hill. But, bro, Gvardiol, Kovacic, Brozovic, and of course, Benjamin Button. That's what I call him, the Benjamin Button of football. Luka Modric. They've done it again, bro. They've done it again. Right when you thought they were dead, they do it again. And who do they play now? They play Japan. Again, another one. You don't think Croatia can't beat Japan? I think they can easily. And then they play Brazil. They're in a quarterfinal. Modric, man, timeless. Culture Cams, Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech rising. Tommy Tukes and bro. Even I won't say the only one from Chelsea that isn't balling out this tournament, because there's one guy from Chelsea's attack that isn't doing well. But I'll stay silent on that one. Let's see what the comments are saying. Cams, you chose the wrong itch team, bro. Low key, Croatia were the safe bet, man. All games are going to be a tough matchup. This is how you use a mask, son. Gvardiol, bro. Gvardiol is a player that I don't know if it's confirmed, but I know Chelsea had major interest in the summer from him. Obviously, he's at Leipzig with Nkunku, who also seems destined to play for Chelsea in the future. Chelsea's transfer activity in the last few years, I've kept saying, is going under the radar for how bad it's been. But if they manage to sign Gvardiol and Nkunku, Todd Bowley might have an eye for football. Todd Bowley might understand the sport better than I thought he did, bro. Because those two are players that will elevate that club to unreal standards. And Nkunku, for me, is one of the most slept-on players in Europe. I honestly think it's because of Werner, because they see a fast, speedy attacker who runs in behind from RB Leipzig, and they see Timo Werner. But Nkunku is a much more complete attacker than Werner. He's a better playmaker, scores more goals, has more to his game outside of, look, Werner is an exceptional outlet, but Nkunku just has more to his game. And Gvardiol, bro, I think he's 20 years old. That's what you call a 100 million pound center back. The ball playing, the aggression, the defending, left-footed center back. You know those angles are important. I hope the world knows about him now. Andrew William. Belgium had a lot of holes. Superstars were injury prone, plus had 0 good fullbacks. Martinez's tactical adaptability, or should I say inadaptability, to the 3-4-3 cannot be overlooked. I'm interested to see where he goes. I hope he sticks to punditry, bro, because I can't lie, I'm not a fan. Why is Cam's not here? Cam is, he's just not feeling the best right now, but hopefully he's back with us. He should be back for stoppage time, but if not, we'll see him soon for sure. I hope you guys saw that catch, bro. I hope you guys saw that catch, bro. Guys, leave a few other comments in the questions and comments. Of course, I'll try and answer as much as I can. But I don't want to take too much of your time, to be honest with you. I just really wanted to talk about the last group that we just watched, because Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, and Japan just gave us one of the greatest group stage final days we've ever seen. I can't lie, that was insane. What center back does Gvardiol remind you of, Lies? That's a tough question. Left-footed center back with the angles. I feel like Laporte is too easy of an answer. And honestly, I think he's a better defender than Laporte. I think he's a better just natural defender than Aymeric Laporte. I think Laporte has howlers in him. But, bro, what center? Give me some suggestions. My natural instinct is just telling me Laporte, but I feel like there's a better comparison out there, bro. Left-footed center back who's exceptional at passing. I said Cannavaro. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think this guy is more of a ball playing center back. He's like a bigger Lissandro. If Lissandro was 6'2", 6'3", he'd be Vardiol. He has with the handles. Hey, give me the rock. Let me facilitate. Oi, I'm a problem. Uruguay versus Ghana. Who wins tomorrow? Yes. I have this feeling, bro, that Ghana are going to do it. Ghana, I said today, are the most impressive team for me this tournament in terms of the ones I didn't expect. Obviously, you know the big ones, Brazil, France, etc., etc. But of the teams that no one saw coming, Ghana are that team. Lowest ranked FIFA side in the standings, youngest team at the tournament. They've been exceptional for me. Kudus, I love the look of him. I think they're going to beat Uruguay because Uruguay at the same time are absolutely trash. They're absolutely trash, man. My super chat. Did I miss it, Ash? My fault. Hold up. Let me go read that. You mentioned that SDS. You knew Saliba was special from the moment you saw him. I thought that too. Got the same feeling from Gvardiol. Wow, bro. There's just some players, right? And there was if you guys had never seen Gvardiol before tonight, there was a moment in that game, right, where Gvardiol played this. I think he won it first of all exceptionally. Played this really brilliant line splitting pass. Did a 1-2 of another midfielder, all in like one sequence. And I think that was a moment that like people should have woken up and said, this guy is one of the most special players of the tournament. He is one of the most special center backs at the tournament. You just get the feel sometimes. Saliba, I think it was this one tackle that he had at the first game against Crystal Palace. I didn't watch him at Marseille. Obviously, I never watched him at Saint-Etienne. But there was this moment where I just saw Saliba against Crystal Palace and I said, bro, I sound like LeBron James right now. I knew he was going to do that. But hey, there's just sometimes you can just see a player from one touch, two touch, one tackle. Poland tactics, YTD, no touches in Argentina box. Poland, for me, are the worst team remaining at this tournament in terms of the ones that would be in the round of 16. Suarez daggers loading. That would be crazy. But I can't lie, bro. Suarez is aged like milk. Like, there's nothing left about that guy anymore. Lias, do you think Enrique has to be questioned by always playing Busquets? It's a tough one, right? Because Busquets, the first two games, I thought was exceptional, Dennis. I thought Busquets, the first two games, was playing in slippers. Obviously, Busquets is not the same player he was anymore. Obviously, I think Rodri is the better center defensive midfielder, but I think it's too easy to say that now. I think Spain have bigger problems than Busquets, which is crazy because Busquets is not an elite level central defensive midfielder anymore, but they got bigger issues than that, in my opinion. Bongani, who's too young for that, brother? What did Bongani say? What was his name that he gave? I can't see it. I'm just going to imagine that he said someone from before 2010. No one can. USA loading up a clinic versus Netherlands. I could see it, bro. Honestly, because Netherlands, bro, they have not moved me that much, to be honest with you. They're a good team, but they can be got at. And for any team that's playing the likes of Bergwijn up front, Klaassen playing in the hole at times, Netherlands are not unstoppable. Look, the USA are not great either. They can't score goals for their life. But they got a solid team, man. We'll see. Walter Samuel. Hold on. Cam said, I don't know Walter Samuel. And then he claims that I'm just an Inter merchant. That's bugging. Walter Samuel is my dog, bro. Cam, you slipped up there. You slipped up there, bro. Walter Samuel, Inter Milan 2009-10, you slipped up. The mask fell right there. Don't joke with that one, bro. Do not joke with that one. Who are you supporting now? Look, I was pretty clear of all of this, right? Canada, obviously, because that's where I'm born. I wanted to see them do well. But at the same time, people are trying to clown me. I never predicted Canada to even come out of the group. This guy said you knew Samuel when he was like 30. I knew him, didn't I? I knew him. So I wanted Canada to get out of the group. Obviously, I wanted them to do well, but I never expected it. For me, Canada, this is like, I thought they were the team with the least pressure on them this tournament because they hadn't qualified since 1986. They'd never even scored a goal, right? So they had no pressure on them. People were getting a bit over their heads. I think there's a lack of quality there that needs to be addressed before 2026. And there's a lack of experience. There's a lack of players that play in Europe. We'll see what they do in 2026. But I wanted Brazil to win, even more than Messi. And that's crazy because people think I'm some Messi fanboy. I wanted Brazil to win because of Neymar. Purely because of Neymar. But if Neymar doesn't play, bro, they're talking that Neymar potentially could be out for the round of 16, potentially start on the bench for that. I don't have any reason to root for Brazil. So international football, for me, it's always been about players. If my team isn't playing in there, if France aren't, or not France, if Canada aren't in there, if Algeria aren't in there, I'm just hoping my favorite players do something. So I'm hoping Neymar does well. And if Neymar doesn't do well, I hope that Messi does. Cam's got a Walter Samuel Inter kit when he was 25. Cam probably remembers Walter Samuel from Real Madrid, bro. Support the country you live in my opinion. 3 Lions, is it coming home? I like England, though. Here's another thing, too, right? Me and my dad, we watch primarily the Premier League, right? we always end up not supporting England, but hoping they do well. Just because all of their players, we watch them on a day-to-day basis. You look at Germany, for example, this full Krug guy up front, who, to be honest, scored what, 2 goals, 1 assist? That's a great tournament. I didn't know he existed before last week. England, I know all of their players. I have a soft spot for most of them. So I hope they do well. I don't go out of my way to support them, but England, they're cool. They're cool. Messi hype is coming home. Serbia, Switzerland predictions. I think Switzerland are going to win, bro. I said Serbia were my dark horse, but in the back of my head, I think I even have a tweet saying my dark horse is either Serbia or Switzerland because Switzerland are a good team, bro. Switzerland had the least goals conceded in qualifying. They look solid. They're hard to break down. Granit Xhaka is one of the best international performers in the world. I've always said it, bro. It's only recently that he started balling again for Arsenal, but even in his worst times at Arsenal, he always turns up for Switzerland. Like, everyone remembers that Pogba game against Switzerland last year. He dominated. Granit Xhaka was going blow for blow with him, bro. Pause. That's a crazy pause. But they were going crazy against each other. But that was a midfield battle right there. Ash, you're 4 behind Kane versus Senegal. Saka on the right. Saka on the right. Rashford on the left. I think you have to play Rashford the way he's playing. Do I go Foden in the hole? Yeah, I go Saka, Rashford, Foden the hole, Kane up front, Rice and Bellingham midfield, Shaw, Maguire, Stones, Walker, and then Pickford. I think that's my team. Let me know what you guys think about that, and let me know your front four. Too much ban. I need Ghana to win tomorrow. This Uruguay hype before the tournament went too far. They saying KDB resting up with Haaland for the Prem. Oi. Pep slipped the check to Martinez, said, tell him to chill this tournament, bro. We need him back early. KDB and Haaland about to be working in the gym, bro. Off season. What else do we got? Milinkovic Savic is going to turn up. I hope so, bro. I hope Serbia goes through. The US reps everyone apart from his home nation. Guess where I live, Aiden? I live in England, bro. This is my home nation now. England failed to qualify for Euro 2008. They're for sure bigger failures than Belgium. Probably, especially because of the players they had, right? Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney, all in their prime. Rio and Terry should have done something more. Lias, why did you not score for Spain tonight? Because Ferran Torres is mid, bro. I keep saying that. Oh, let me chill. Hold on. Ferran Torres ain't mid. But the 2 goals against Costa Rica, I think people got carried away. Let's be real here. Xhaka did not dominate Pogba. I didn't say dominate. I didn't say Xhaka dominated Pogba. I said I'm not going to say exactly what I said, but I said it was a midfield battle between the two of them. Xhaka performed exceptionally well that game. Didn't say dominated, but he held up his own end of the bargain for sure. Do you think Trippier or Walker will start? I'll go Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker should start. I think Trippier this tournament hasn't been excellent. He's been got out a few times. He hasn't replicated the Newcastle form that he had all season, where I was saying he was the best right back in the league. And I think Walker, especially maybe Senegal, you can argue that Trippier should play. But I think against a France, for example, when you're up against Mbappe, you need Kyle Walker for his recovery pace. I know he's not the same player since he had that ankle injury, but you need that recovery pace for sure, bro. Enzo Fernandez should be a priority for United. Bro, if Enzo Fernandez didn't have a 120 million buyout clause, I would say United should go buy him. But for that, bro, I don't know. That's going to be tough to pry him away from Benfica. Semi-final predictions as of now: Argentina versus Brazil and Portugal versus France. Messi versus Ronaldo final loading. We'll see, bro. Portugal look good. Portugal look really, really solid. They have quality everywhere on the pitch. There's no reason why they can't beat one of either Serbia or Switzerland, and then Spain, obviously, in the next round, or potentially Morocco. This World Cup is very open, bro. This is one of the first World Cups I can remember where I don't see one clear-cut favorite. There's not one team that I look at and say, yeah, they're going to win it. France, I was fairly convinced they would win it. 2014, Germany, they looked the best team on paper. Even as a Messi fan, I thought Germany would win it. 2010, Spain. To be fair, 2006, right? I don't think anyone really thought Italy were going to be the team ahead of time. I think Brazil were probably the favorites for most people. Spain, I remember, had a lot of hype at the time too. But, bro, this tournament, I look at all of them, and this guy's saying Brazil here, 0-0. I think Brazil have the best team, but they haven't rocked me away in any single game, to be honest with you. They're just winning because of quality. And at international level, that might be enough. But they haven't staked their credentials, in my opinion. They haven't done it yet. Lias, do you think that USA can get the job done versus Holland? They can. Will they? I still think Holland will win. I think they got a little too much quality. And I don't think USA has enough goals in them. But they should be very proud about how far they've gone this tournament. England. England, to be fair, bro. Yeah, man. They might be the most convincing team at this tournament so far. The game against the US wasn't great. but they wiped the floor of Iran, more so than the US and Wales could. And they wiped the floor of Wales. England are the most convincing team at this World Cup. Do I think that means they're going to win it? No. But yeah, they've looked the best at this World Cup so far. Fair enough. I'll give them that. 2006, Italy weren't that great. They were scraping wins. Yeah, but bro, when you have that defense, right, of Cannavaro, Pirlo, and Gattuso in front of them, yeah, come on. They weren't. Here's the thing of Italy 2006. I think the stat was for them, right? Every one of their strikers, Toni, Gilardino, Inzaghi, and there was another one, Francesco Totti and Del Piero. None of them, I believe, scored more than one goal all tournament. I think Toni might have scored 2. The rest of them only scored 1 goal. So their strikers weren't exceptionally prolific, but bro, that team was insane. Let's not rewrite history. Buffon was a wall back there, best goalkeeper in the world at that time. Before Neuer came, I thought Buffon was the best goalkeeper of all time. Cannavaro and then Materazzi next to him, just elevated to a level. Grosso, Zambrotta, Pirlo, Gattuso. Bro, they had a team, bro. Let's be real. Let's not call them trash here. France. Mbappe and Dembele, for me, is the reason why I think France, if they play England, will beat England. But let's not act like they've been super convincing, guys. Let's not pretend here. Their center back partnerships, for me, have not been extremely convincing. They're conceding very sloppy goals, in my opinion. And Rabiot, you guys know my thoughts on Rabiot. I'm not convinced yet. He's had a decent tournament so far. Some might even say good. I'm not convinced yet. We'll see how that goes. We almost got Enzo and Julian for 30 million. Ralph Ranick, what were you cooking, bro? What were you cooking? When England run through the toughest run to the final. This is one thing, Cam, you're right. If England go to the final or even the semifinal, no one can outright basically downplay them and say that they had an easy run to the final. Because in their side of the bracket at the moment is France, is Spain, and without jinxing it, is Portugal. Those are 3 of the best teams on the planet. Those are 3 of the best teams in the tournament. They don't have a bracket anymore with Croatia, Ukraine, Denmark. Those are the best teams in that bracket. They don't have a bracket where the best teams on their side is Denmark, a washed-up Germany, and who else did they have last tournament? Ukraine. They don't. They will have to get through France. They will have to get through one of Spain and Portugal, unless there's a major shock that happens there. So, yeah, you can't say any team in this tournament, I believe, if they win it, had an easy run. I think they'll all have to get through tough teams. England will beat France, mark my words. I could see it, bro. It could happen. But just because the star quality that Mbappe and Dembele provide and how Griezmann is looking at the moment, I slightly give the edge to France. But we'll see how that goes on. Varane at center back. Varane has not been extremely convincing for me this World Cup. I know he's coming back from injury, but I have question marks there in that center back position with whoever it is. Konate sometimes, Upamecano sometimes. I'm not completely convinced. I'm Japanese. I'm very happy today. Congratulations, bro. Honestly, to get out of a group with Germany and Spain and to beat both of them is such a crazy accomplishment. In Japan, right? Me and Cam were talking about this. Every World Cup they get slept on, and every World Cup I can remember, bro, they get out of the group stage. I feel they almost always get out of the group stage. So we'll see what they can do against who is it now? Who do they play? They play Croatia. That's going to be a very interesting game. It's not the blockbuster one we probably thought we were going to get with Germany, but we'll see what they have, man. I'm happy for Japan. It's written for Messi to win. That's the last thing I'm going to say, right? Bro, Argentina, the last 2 games, I'm not saying they're winning the tournament because I don't think they will, but there's something clicking there, man. There's something cooking. The pieces are starting to fall into place, bro. McAllister, Enzo, and Julian Alvarez. Keep an eye out for that, bro. Keep an eye out for that. I'm not saying Argentina are going to win it. I think they'll beat Australia, and we'll see what happens against Netherlands. And I don't think they'll beat Brazil. But keep an eye out for Argentina. It's not the same team as the first game, bro. It's not the same team. That's all I'm going to say. But, guys, I think that's where we're going to stop it right here. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, make sure you put down in the comments section what you want to see next, and make sure you subscribe or stay tuned for tomorrow. Turn the notifications on so you can see the live that goes on tomorrow. Because I'm trying to get a few of the bigger YouTubers on here to do kind of a final summary of the World Cup, because the group stage obviously ends tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But, do all of that stuff. Guys, I've done my best to hold this down by myself. It's not easy. But after yesterday, I had to give you guys some content. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys stay tuned for more. We'll definitely be back tomorrow. But without further ado, it's been myself, Lias, on FTBL. We'll see you when we see you.